Welcome to the Bradford City v Barrow match preview. Let me know your score predictions down below. I'll get onto that later. But we'll go straight into Mark Hughes' press conference before the game. He said we're working on breaking down a low block, which we do have to further develop our work on, because when you think about it, he said that before the game when he talked about training, and that's what we've been focusing on really in training, trying to break down teams who were going to come to Valley Parade and sit back, and we didn't do it last weekend. So he said we're going to try to do it again, because a team like Barrow, who are pretty much predicted to finish relatively near the bottom, they're going to try and get a point out of us even if they are at home. So I would think that they'd be quite sat back, so he's been working on that in training. He also said quite a positive really on Manny Osadebe, but he won't be out for any longer than it won't be out for any less than 5 to 6 months, which is a big positive, because and maybe he'll be out maybe for all season, but it's keeping that positivity around the place, in the dressing room, and maybe with Odasebi as well, and with the fan base. It's keeping the positive vibes going, and keeping the place quite happy really. And 5 to 6 months plus isn't a bad thing when you think about it, and hopefully he'll play a part in the season, because who knows what could happen towards the end. So hopefully he can play a part. I don't think he will, but he said he's feeling positive as well. And then he got asked about Scott Banks, the player we've apparently inquired about. It's been going around on Twitter a bit with Scott Banks. He gave a very firm and assertive no, the most assertive no you'll ever hear. He got asked and they just went no. And then they quickly moved on. But it would be an interesting player, Scott Banks. We probably do need another winger. I thought we needed another winger before the Osadebe injury. Ice is unreliable, Young's young, and they don't really fancy him. If he wasn't in the team last week, then he's going to struggle to get in the team every week. Chapman needs a bit to get to grips with it, and Angle's more of a striker, so we don't have two proper wingers really all season. Now with no Osadebe, and I do think that maybe on Saturday we did lack a Dion Pereira, but anyway, it ain't really interesting looking at it by the looks of it, but I think he's playing his cards very close to his chest there. He said Gilead's 1 week or 1 week and a half away behind everyone else, but he's going to be an option for Saturday, which is good. I can't see him starting, but you never know. He said that with Oliver and Rideout, and then in the team at 2 o'clock, and it could be. He also said, which is quite concerning, that Walker had an irritation in his knee. But there could be mind games from Hughes, because Oliver, like I said, Chapman, Rideout, a few players who we thought might not be available for the game last Saturday, and then they started. So it could be a bit of mind games from Mark Hughes playing against his counterpart in Pete Wild there. But yeah, he said the focus is really strong in the camp. So a couple of key players for Barrow to look out for. Robbie Gotts, I think he scored against us one of the previous times. He's an interesting player, quite an exciting player. I think they had him on loan last season from Leeds, but they've got him now, unless they sign him permanently from Leeds last season, because he was at Salford. He's a player who has definitely scored against us before, plays as a number 8, but it's quite versatile, and he always catches my eye. He scored a screamer last season for Barrow. I think it was the first game, but we did get a 1-1 draw, I think. And then Whitfield, their winger, he scored on the weekend. He's also a City Academy player who got released at the age of 16, so he's going to be up for it, like they all are. So yeah, he scored last weekend, a pretty nice goal, but he was born in Bingley, so he's probably one to look out for. He scored against his previous club in Stockport last week, and he'll probably do it again. And then Niall Canavan is a fantastic centre-back, and I think we should all be very scared of Niall Canavan. I'm only joking. Hopefully he starts, because I don't rate him at all. He's slow. If it looks like he's got a physical presence when he don't. So hopefully Oliver pins on Canavan, and we try and cause as much trouble for him on that side as much as we possibly can, because I think he's dodgy. And I think last season the only reason people rated him as much as rated him as much as they did was because one, he were captain, and two, he were born in Bradford. Loyalty points. He was probably the worst centre back we had since Ben Richards' Everton, and he were replacing Ben Richards' Everton, so he were poor, and hopefully he starts on the weekend because I don't rate him. And I think he conceded a penalty against Stockport, but he didn't get given for some reason. Pete Wild, the Barrow manager, he could have been a Bradford City manager if it weren't for Mark Hughes. He was heavily linked back in late February last season, and at Halifax he did a really good job. I think he got playoffs twice there. He started off as an Oldham youth manager at one of the levels in Oldham, and then he got the caretaker job back in 2018-2019, but he got replaced by Paul Scholes. But then obviously he left, and then he got the permanent job. Pete Wild did alright, but then left on personal terms, went to Halifax, 2 playoffs, and now he's at Barrow trying to get himself a good reputation. He's definitely started off on a good foot. But he used to be a tree surgeon and an apprentice for car mechanics, and he worked at his parents' pub when he was around the age of 18. So that's an interesting little fact about him. But at the age of 18 he then decided he wanted to go into coaching, and I don't think he played a proper professional game in his career. I think he might have played an amateur game, but he started off managing the England Amputations Club or something. But yeah, he started off at the bottom as a tree surgeon, and he's still only 38, so I think he's one of these managers who will get maybe a bigger job in League 2 after Barrow, and he's going to make his way up, I'm pretty sure, because Ian Everett started off at Barrow, won promotion with him, and then went on to manage Bolton. Bit lower down with Pete Wild, did well at Halifax, moves up to Barrow, and then I think he will move up because he looks like a very good manager. Anyway, my predicted 11, I think we'll go with a 4-2-3-1. I'd stick with a diamond, but the problem is we can adapt easily. You know, if Angle plays on the wing, he can move up front. If Young plays on the wing, he can move up front. So it's interchangeable. Obviously, Walker can change with Chapman if they play. But I think he'll probably start with a 4-2-3-1 with Lewis, Halliday, Platt, Critchlow, Rideout. It's quite a debate, Rideout or Folds, but I think that Hughes prefers Rideout, and they didn't have a bad game Saturday. Smallwood and East in midfield. Smallwood's definitely starting, he's nailed down, but East, you know, maybe Gilead could start, maybe he wants to start Gilead. Sutton, he could nip in as well. There's a few options in that position, but I think he might start East and see how he does in this game. Chapman on the right side, Angle on the left side, Walker just behind Oliver up top. I think he'll probably stick with Oliver. I think he didn't have a good end to the game because, you know, he needs that match sharpness, and he didn't have much of a pre-season, to be fair. And then my team would be Lewis in goal, Halliday, Platt, Critchlow, Rideout, so same back four. Smallwood in the DM role, East and Sutton, and Walker behind Oliver and Young. But, you know, Sutton could drift to the wide areas and give a bit more width, and Young can also do that as well. I would like to see Young either start or come off the bench, because I think we might need that bit of pace, or someone just to nip one, just hit one round someone and then do him for pace. You know, we needed that on Saturday. We needed someone who would just take someone on. So I would like to see Young be involved. And then the head-to-heads, we've played 23 games. We've won 23 games, sorry. We've drawn 14 games and we've lost 14 games in the club's history. When we played each other, the first game was played in 1906 in an FA Cup game which we won 3-2, 3 years in our existence. The highest ever win was an 8-0 win on the 9th of March 1929. The biggest defeat was a 5-1 defeat on the 28th of February 1953. And the last 5 games we've played against them was a 2-1 win on the 1st of January 2022, one of the last wins that Derek Adams actually got, one of the last actually good games. I think Liangol scored and then Monsoon injured. 1-1 draw on the 18th of September 2021, 2-1 win 30th of January 2021, 1-0 defeat on the 31st of October 2022, and then it was 50 years before we played them for the 5th time. in a 3-3 draw on the 8th of April 1970. So, you know, there was a large spell where we weren't playing against Barrow. Hopefully we can get the 3 points. I'm going to go with a 2-1 win. I think we'll just edge it. Oliver will get his first goal for the club, and maybe Chapman as well. But and I don't know. Hopefully we win the game. That's all that matters. It doesn't matter how you win. I think we'll dominate them again. I can see these probably sitting back and trying to hit us on the counter with their pace, because they did that quite a lot against Stockport. Hit on the break with a pace, and they scored 3 really good goals, to be fair. So hopefully we can get over the line, get the win, and start moving up the league table with that first win. Have a good one.